Last month, around the mid of June, we woke up to a very sad story of a 70-year-old man who was turned away from 7 different hospitals because there were no beds. And as he hopped from health post to health post, he finally popped his clocks. So then, as usual, the media attention was drawn to the issue, and we realized that, in fact, it was more prevalent than just this old man. It happens every day. It just happened to come into the media. Ghana Immigration Services opened recruitment. They needed 500 personnel, 500 immigration services officers. 84,000 people queued up to buy forms to try their luck. 84,000. Now, I was hoping that alarm bells would ring then, but no, it didn't. We let it pass. In Accra alone, folks, there are 63,000 children sleeping rough on our roads. 63,000. That was 2010. By 2014, the number estimated was 90,000. Only God knows how many on our streets today. Only God knows how many on our streets today. In and out of lakes, jumping in and out of boats on farms, doing dangerous jobs for children is an estimated 2 million. 2 million children. Mostly either sold or given away because of hardships. Mostly sold or given away because of hardship. And don't change the channel. I am talking about Ghana, Happy Home Ghana. Now, I have a whole list of scenarios, but I don't want to bore you. And I'm sure by now you want to know where I'm getting to. Folks, again and again, the rate we are growing as a people, as a nation, we do not have the capacity to deal with it. That's the simple truth. That's the simple fact. The rate, the speed with which we are multiplying, Ken Oforiatta and all his economic gurus and everything don't have the capacity to handle it. It's the truth. It's the fact. Folks, uncontrolled population is like an acquired immune deficiency syndrome. On its own, there's no problem. If you're in your bedroom, fine, and you have your HIV, you're cool. Nothing happens. However, if you catch a cold, you can die. If you get bitten by a mosquito, there's a trouble. That's how it is. It's not the numbers, but the quality, folks, in the numbers. Now, let me repeat this because I know people will quote the Bible that we should multiply. Folks, there's nothing wrong in multiplying if you are multiplying doctors times architects. If you're multiplying plumbers times, professional plumbers times building engineers, if you're multiplying professional carpenters with teachers, if you're multiplying lecturers and lawyers, we have no problem. The issue is when you start multiplying gate men and unemployed. Worst of all, if you're multiplying unemployed drunks and unemployed time wasted, that's where the cancer starts. What multiplication does the Bible talk about? Has anybody even talked about it? This multiplication that God talked about, did he point out what substance we should multiply or just multiply for multiply's sake? What quality is in our numbers? As for land size, folks, we can even squeeze Nigeria here. That's not the issue. Some people compare the UK landmass as being the same as Ghana. So, if they have about 60 million population, 66 million up there in the UK, why am I worried? Folks, do we see the youth of UK jumping in and out of the sea, risking their lives to come here because there's land space? No. Have you ever wondered why? Folks, the irony is that as soon as you lose control of the population growth and it begins to spiral out of control, which is anything 2% upwards. In fact, I think even 1.5, you are on the threshold. 1.5, you are literally on the threshold of losing your population. 2% and upwards. The first attack on the nation is on its sense and culture of quality. Folks, as soon as you hit 2%, the first attack on any nation in the world, go and check, Google it, research it. It's on its sense of culture and quality. this is quickly replaced with the culture of compromise, acceptance of mediocrity. The easiest and first sacrifice that the nation goes for is quality. And when that is attacked, the nation will immediately split into two classes of culture. Because the few who don't want to compromise and can afford quality will pay for it, while the majority will survive by compromising. And the sacred spirit or the sacred culture of quality will be gone. Folks, look around us. Just look around us. And you can compare other nations like us. And ask yourself, folks, ask yourself, will John Mahama's kids ever go to an E-block school in the middle of nowhere? If Nanado's kids were in school today, will they ever attend a two-tracking system where the dining hall now is turned into a dormitory? Never. Do you know why? Because they can pay for quality. They don't need to compromise on that. They can afford the quality. On the issue of compromise, let me share a little joke with you. Once upon a time when my grandfather was alive, now he was a moderator of the Presbyterian Church, he was quite a bully, funny guy, but a bully. KSM, then my uncle, your own KSM, comedian, satirist, KSM, had come from America then. It was somewhere in 83, and there was some farming in Ghana, so there was a sort of hangar, right? So my mom had gone to hustle and gotten some deluxe kinky and called the family that dinner is served. So KSM says, oh, what are we going to eat? And then mom says, oh, we have got kinky. So grandpa was like, oh, good, let's go to the table. And KSM says, oh, maybe I'm in pedokuno. I don't like kinky. And grandfather was like, well, send on my yellow. The Ukrachi kura unyani until the ompedi unya ubewia. The hardship in Ghana at the moment, even things that you are allergic, food that you are allergic to, you won't even get to eat. So foods that you don't like, you may end up stealing it. Get up and let's go to the table. That's what happens to quality. When there's hardship, it's go for compromise. So as soon as there was hardship of food, grandfather said, sorry, but senior good didn't the okra chirikran unya no wedi the ompedi unya ubewia. Folks, let me take you back. Good old Kwame Nkrumah. He did not have as many graduates as we have today, yet we all say and attest to the fact that at the time, things worked well. Those who finished Standard 4 and Standard 7 seem to be more eloquent, write well, and hold up better than your average SSS students today, SHS student graduate today. At the time, folks, Professor Chumberima would start school in the little town of Abomosu, come to Chebi, continue to Legon, further on to Cambridge, and come out as a great professor, and a good one as well. Kwame Dansumisa will start from Chebi, continue to Prempeh, then to Legon, further on to Leeds University, and end up at Bank of Ghana. Our own Anis Hafa, a passionate educationist, as I've called him, will start from Tutuka to Infantsipim, further on to California State University. Folks, the numbers then were manageable. So quality was the name of the game. You did not have to pay for it. So far as you were serious, it was available. Most of the big names we know today have very humble beginnings from remote villages. But the quality was like anywhere else. Today, the story will be different. Today, the story will be completely different. Folks, unlike this two-track era, folks, this two-track is nothing but uncontrolled numbers. Two-track education system is nothing but uncontrolled numbers. How can the numbers writing exams go up significantly on a yearly basis as much as 40%? How? When some countries, the numbers actually fall in certain years and maintain an average. And they still have a higher education, per population than we do. So check this out. Apparently, we are just, going to do this two-track system for 7 years. Then we revert back. Folks, in 7 years, we would have increased this population by nearly 6 million. And that's more than the whole of Singapore. That's 2 times the size of Jamaica and 3 times the size of Gabon. in 7 years. Are we now going to do single track when the population is even higher? Folks, if education is free and compulsory, and as we can see, the enrollment has hit the roof, per our usual overcrowded school of 3,000, we may need an average of 20 full schools every year just to cater for the increase. Every year, Kenneth Friata should dish out money for us to go and build 20 new schools, because that's how much more we are putting on the population. Folks, now check this out, right? Check this out. In 2018, the population, USA, one of the biggest, populated countries, right? 360 million in excess. In 2050, they are going up to 389 million, increase of about 63 million. Our own Nigeria, the time bomb waiting to happen at that, we're not even talking about it. Nigeria now is 196 million. In 2050, they are going to 410 million, an increase of 214 million. 214 million. That's Nigeria. Good old Ghana, 29 million now. We are looking at 51 million in 2050. That's a 22 million increase. China, which everybody says, oh, China is 1 billion, China is 1 billion. Well, folks, today China is 1.4 billion. They are looking in 2015 to hit 1.3 billion. They're hoping to reduce by 51 million. They are checking their population. And good old UK, which is our closest that we mark, we compare ourselves with because of their landmarks. 66 million now. In 2050, they will go up to 75 million. So in 32 years, they are looking to add 9 million people to the population. 9 million to the population. Well, I must say this. Information coming now is that, they coming that the president has sacked the energy minister. Now, that's definitely breaking news.
As they happen, when they happen, where they happen. Joy 99.7 FM, your most reliable news source.
So news coming in from the Flagstaff House, and there's a statement that has been issued and signed by the Director of Communications, Eugene Ahing, and it reads, President Akufo-Addo relieves Minister for Energy of his position. And it states that's the headline for that statement. It states, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has, by letter dated 6th August 2018, relieved the Minister for Energy, Mr. Boakye Ejako, of his position with immediate effect. President Akufo-Addo has asked Mr. Boakye Ejako to hand over his office to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. John Peter Amewu, who will act temporarily as the Minister for Energy until a substantive appointment is made. The president wishes Mr. Boakye Ejako well in his future endeavors. And this happened in the last few minutes. In fact, Mr. Boakye Ejako has been at the presidency all day together with his two deputy ministers. We reported that on Newsnight a short while ago, but this is a confirmation of a decision that the president has taken. If you're just joining us, a breaking news coming from the from the Jubilee House tonight is that the president has relieved, in fact, has sacked the Energy Minister, Boakye Ejako. Let's speak to the man who signed the statement, Director of Communications at the presidency, Mr. Eugene Ahing. Mr. Ahing, thank you for your time here on Newsnight. So this is a statement that we just received. You can confirm that, can you? Hello, Mr. Ahing. Hello, sir.
Yes, hello.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. Can you confirm the statement we just received from the Jubilee House?
Yes, Evans. A few minutes ago, the president has relieved the Minister for Energy, Honorable Kwasi Jaku, of his position as Minister for Energy. The statement that's coming from my office is indeed the case.
And can you please tell us why this decision has been taken?
I'll just have to give you a brief summary. Basically, we all know the circumstances that have surrounded the Ameri deal. The president believes that, considering the nature of the information that has come out concerning the deal, he believes at this point in time it is in the best interest of the country, it is the best interest of the Ghanaian people, and also it is in the best interest of his administration that he relieves the Minister for Energy of his position at this particular moment. We would have the time to go into the finer details that went into the president's decision, but as it stands now, we just have to say that in the interest of the Ghanaian people, in the interest of the country, in the interest of his own administration, the president has taken the decision to relieve the Minister for Energy of his position.
And so you're confirming that this has everything to do with the controversy surrounding the renegotiated Ameri Power Plant deal?
Absolutely, Evans. Absolutely.
And
the president has made that clear to the former minister, and the former minister has accepted the president's decision
to sack him.
Yes, he has.
And from what we understand, if you can confirm this was after a face-to-face meeting with the president today.
No, the president did not meet the energy minister. No, he did not meet in a face-to-face meeting today. Not today. No.
But was he?
There have been meetings earlier in the course of this news breaking, but this decision was not taken after the president met him today. No, the president did not meet Mr. Kwasi Jaku today. He did not meet him today.
Okay, Mr. Kwasi Jaku, from what we hear, has been at the Jubilee House today.
Yes, he has been at the Jubilee House today. Yes, he has been, but he did not come to meet the president.
Okay, what was his presence there related to the Ameri deal?
Not necessarily. He was here to have a discussion with the chief of staff on some other matters. Unfortunately, which I can't disclose. But certainly it was not with regards to the Ameri issue. No, it was not.
We've heard from other circles that Mr. Kwasi Jaku, as has been put it, misled the president. Did that happen?
That's what I'm saying, that Evans, the finer details as to what led to the president in his decision would have to be for another conversation. I've heard this issue about him misleading the president. I don't know where that is coming from. That has not come from any official source at Jubilee House. I don't know where that information is coming from. But as I said, the president believes that in the interest of the nation, in the interest of the Ghanaian people, in the interest of his own administration, his decision to relieve Mr. Kwasi Jaku of his position at this point in time is in the best interest of everybody. And the minister himself, as I said, has duly acknowledged the president's decision and has accepted the decision.
Does this in any way affect any of his two deputies?
As it stands now, no. That is why, if you look at the statement that was put out, we made it clear that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, John Peter, will be acting in his stead. Nothing has been said about his two deputies. No decision has been taken about the two deputies. As of now, they still continue to be deputy ministers for energy.
Okay, the two will still be there. Now, on the substantive matter on the Ameri deal, will the original document that the committee in Parliament had rejected, will it be sent back, or government is, as of now, stepping down that document entirely?
Yes, from the little I know, government is stepping that document down entirely. From the little I know, and from what I've been informed to put out, yes, government stepping down that particular agreement.
Okay, so what it means is that if Parliament resumes, that document will formally be withdrawn.
Definitely, it will be.
Will be withdrawn. But has a decision been taken on what to do with the existing Ameri deal?
That deal for now I wouldn't be able to comment on that. On that, a decision has not been taken on it as we speak, and if that is done, definitely we'll let it, and then people know, and definitely others definitely will let you know as well. But as it stands now, I'm unable to comment on it because I don't have any information to that effect.
Of course, we now will have Peter Meu, whose current portfolio is a very, very busy one already, taking on an additional responsibility at the Energy Ministry. Should we expect a broader government reshuffle sometime this week?
What I know we can expect is a substantive appointment made the president to the position of Minister for Energy. As to a broader cabinet reshuffle or a reshuffle of ministerial portfolios, I believe we'll have to wait until such a decision or otherwise is taken by the president. As it stands now, all I know is that the president will make a substantive appointment to the position of Minister for Energy. So as to a cabinet reshuffle occurring in the subsequent days, as it stands now, I believe that is only a matter that the president knows about, none of us know about. But it's definitely just as we've been doing. If news of such a thing should happen, definitely, I'm sure we'll not hide it from the Ghanaian people.
And has there been any names yet in terms of the substantive ministerial position for the energy ministry that the president may be considering already?
No, the president has not disclosed any name to me. I don't think he has disclosed any name to anybody. All he has done is to call the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. John Peter Meu, to his office to inform him about his decision to let him act as Minister for Energy. And that's what has been done now.
Finally, the renegotiated document that went to Parliament had with it what we were made to believe is an executive approval, which means the president signed off on it. How did the president sign off on this document?
Evans, I believe I'll have to go back to my earlier answer about the fact that the finer details surrounding this decision definitely will be made in subsequent conversations. As it stands now, I mean whether the president signed off of that document or not at this point in time, I believe it's neither here nor there. The most important thing is that he believes the deal as it stands now, it's like the circumstances surrounding the nature of this particular deal at this point in time. It's not in the interest of our country. It's been put off. The Minister for Energy has been relieved of his position, and I believe as it stands now, that's what we should.
Okay, and finally, but can you tell us whether or not, in fact, that executive approval was given by the president?
Yes, that letter was not. Yes, that letter was signed by the secretary to the president. It was done. That letter was done. I mean, I don't think anybody has come out to say that letter was fake or no. Nobody has come. That letter was done. But at the end of the day, the president has taken the decision, and I believe that is the decision going forward. That will hold.
I mean, that's why a final question. That is why I guess if you can clarify if that letter was done by the executive secretary to the president, how, on what basis the president did that?
Evans, whatever be the case, definitely, if the executive secretary of the president did that, it was because of information that was made available to him. That's why it happened. But as I said, to me, it is neither here nor there whether executive approval was given or not. To me, it's neither here nor there. What matters is that the deal is off. It's no longer holding. As you said, when Parliament resumes from recess, that particular deal will no longer hold. The minister under whose authority, in quotes, this particular deal was renegotiated has paid the ultimate price. He's been fired by the president, and the deal no longer holds. For me, that is the most important thing we should be focusing on.
I'm grateful. That's Eugene Ahin there. He's the Director of Communications at the presidency, speaking to us about a decision that the president has taken tonight to sack the energy minister, Mr. Boachi Ejako, in the wake of the Ameri Power Plant deal renegotiated controversy. Let's quickly speak to the ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee, Adams Mutawakilu, who's joining us on the telephone line right now. Mr. Mutawakilu, I'm grateful that you joined us. Your reaction to the news that we're just hearing tonight?
Yeah, thank you very much, Evans. I think the news about this Ameri deal has been with us for over 1 week today, and finally the president has fired the energy minister. It gives us a lot of lessons, and I would like to, first of all, share it. One, it tells us that executive approval is not the best way to approving financial commitments that will put this transaction that will put this country into financial commitment for over 1 year. That implies that all financial transactions that will commit this country for over 1 year should be a cabinet approval, not executive approval. Two, this deal has gone to prove beyond reasonable doubt that what the former President Mahama entered into, he did that in the best interest of the people of Ghana at that emergency situation, and that the government should leave that agreement to run for the next 2.5 years, where the people of Ghana will own the asset. And then three, the president must ensure that whoever is appointed to this position always ensure that he follows the necessary protocols before any agreement is submitted to the presidency for consideration. It's very important because the energy sector is not a small sector. It's a huge sector. And where we have our petroleum resources under, being supervised by this ministry. And therefore, due diligence is very critical in this area. The 1% drop in any of our oil industry is millions and millions and millions of cities. So this is a great lesson for all of us, and we believe in the minority believe that we'll do everything possible to protect the national interest and the interest of the nation and do constructive criticism as minority.
Okay, so that's a minority position, but you welcome the decision the president has taken tonight?
Yeah, that's the best decision, even though it has been delayed for some time. I believe that the moment he came out clearly that he was misled, the minister should have been fired.
Which is what has happened
for
tonight.
quite some time. Mm-hmm. That was not the best. I think that he should have been decisive. The moment was proven that he has misled him. That would have proven beyond reasonable doubt that he has no hands in it. Even though that is okay, after more than a week, we are think that it's still in the right direction.
And finally, we just had a confirmation that that renegotiated contract that came to your committee will be formally withdrawn once you resume.
Yes, that is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
But let me also say something. The majority leader did a very matured work when we, the minority, raised serious concerns about the agreement. He sought views from both sides and thought that it was better not to push it through without a consensus agreement. And that enabled more in-depth discussion, and finally that it should be withdrawn. Let me admit that fact.
I'm grateful that you joined us with those thoughts. That's Adams Mutawakilu, Easy, ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee. I'm just in the studio with me is Manasseh Zuriawuni. Manasseh, there's far more to this than meets the eye, correct?
Very true, Evans, because this morning we had information that the president had summoned Mr. Jakon to the presidency, and the information we have also had for some time now is that he's been given the opportunity to resign, and our sources tell us that he wasn't going to take that because resigning meant admission of a wrongdoing, and as far as Mr. Jakon is concerned, he has not done anything wrong in this deal. He believes it was in the best interest of the state, and from our sources he was even not acting alone, and so admitting or resigning meant that he admitted that wrongdoing, and so he wasn't going to resign. So we knew something would be done, but we didn't know. We also had information that he could be moved to another ministry, but we didn't know this would be the ultimate decision.
Which is what has happened tonight. If you're just joining us, the breaking news story in the last few minutes is that the president has, with immediate effect, sacked the energy minister, Boache Jacko, over the controversial renegotiated Ameri power plant deal. Stay with us for more on this. Go on to myjoyonline.com and read the full detail.
This is the Joy FM breaking news story.
I don't know who to fight with, Evans and Manasseh, or the energy minister misbehaving and getting sacked. After building all these emotions and passion and fighting for population growth, this minister goes to Ameri. But let's congratulate the president for having for the bits of steel to doing what's the right thing. A few more of those and maybe people will set up. You know what? I'm not going to continue. 0302 216 541. 0302 216 541. Just call me. But I'm saying that, right, between now and 2050, the USA would increase their population by 63 million. Nigeria, 214 million. Ghana, 22 million. China, negative 51 million. They're going down by 51 million. UK, 9 million. Singapore, 1 million. So I am asking Nanado, asking the finance minister, will they continue to just borrow to come and look after us? How are we going to survive? 0302 216 541. And I'm always, the MPC saying that, every woman should have 3 kids. And then after 3 kids, you have to pay, whether free education, NHIS, whatever it is, you pay. So the state will look after 3 kids. I'm saying, you know what, with our dire situation, I'm going for 2 because, world averages don't work here in Ghana. World averages don't work here in Ghana. Let's go for 2. If you have 2 kids, they can go to school for free, go to hospital for free. 3 and more, you look after yourself. Because at the moment, those who can't pay are just littering, and you and I are just being taxed to look after them. It cannot go on that, you just go and have any number of children you want, we will look after them. It doesn't happen anywhere. Hello, who's talking to me?
Yeah, my name is Simon.
Simon, talk to me.
I think I'm really happy about the decision the president has taken.
Great.
And I commend him for doing that. Politicians, we know, will cover their own. It happened over the years. Such a scandal happened, and the president will rather reshuffle the minister in question. So with this, kudos to the president.
Thank you very much. 0302 216 541. Let me hear from you. I was very passionate about, really bringing out this population thing to draw our attentions to it. That, look, it's not manageable, but unfortunately, these guys ruined my show. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana. My name is Eunice from Instagram.
Eunice, talk to me.
Okay. Much as I believe that population should be managed, whether upwards or downwards. I think in the case of Ghana, we haven't looked at all the indicators that are necessary to make the determination that we want to manage it downwards. I think we should just open a dialogue about it and look at the fundamentals that determine that.
Eunice, any country in this world that grows more than 2% is more or less a failed state. You can just Google it. 2%, just 2%. Any country at all, 2% is a failed state. And I'm being very, very harsh. They are just managing, begging here and begging, living on loans.
And I think that we have seen a lot of things happen just this week, enough to tell us that we haven't had our fundamentals right. So we can't just look at population.
Thank you very much. 0302216541. Let's talk about our population and its size and ask ourselves, can we just borrow to just free school, free maternity, free this, just borrow? Hello, who's talking to me?
Yeah, Uncle, good evening. I'm calling from Senegal.
Talk to me, my brother.
Yeah, Uncle, I want to ask you. It's like they are saying, if you have a 3-child, then that's okay then. Okay, I'm a young guy. I'm born before. So let me ask, if you are select and my firstborn died and I get second, who died? Did I have a chance to born the 3 or the can't?
Yeah, 3 living children. You can send 3 living children to school. That's what the MPC is proposing. I'm saying 2. Me, if I were the president, I'll say, look, if you have 2 children, school will be free, everything will be free. If you have 3 and more, you look after them.
That's good. So me, I prefer that.
You prefer the 2 or the 3?
I prefer 2 or 3.
2. Okay, yeah. 2 or 3. Okay, I agree with you. 0302216541. Can we sustain it? Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
Steven here.
Yeah, Steven.
Yes. When this issue came up, the lady who came to your studio, last week.
Yes, Dr. Letitia.
Yes, I tried to talk to young people about this issue, and you'll be shocked at their mentality. They will not back them at all. For them, having 5, 7 kids is the way to go. And you look at them and look at their income, and it's like, really, are you serious? You standing in front of me, you have a problem. How can you look after 7 people? Nana? The problem with having so many children in this country is not about those in the villages. Check those in the public sector. Teachers, nurses, check the records. They are the ones who are giving birth to more children than even those in the village. So who is going to educate who?
See, the thing is, it's not a matter of how many children you have. If I have 10 kids and I can look after them, no problem. You see, the issue is having kids and leaving them for society to look after. I think that's what the problem is. It's not how many kids. You can have 3,000, no problem. So for us, you can put them all through school. That's fine. But after 2, you're on your own. Or after 3, you're on your own. Hello, who's talking to me? Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nana?
Yes.
Yeah. Nana, this population thing, I think this is the second time you are discussing it. Yeah, it's a good thing, but I think that personally, Ghana, we haven't reached there yet.
Okay,
30
hold
million
on.
population.
Okay, hold on 1 second. What's your name again, my brother?
Okay, right.
What's your name?
I'm Ibrahim.
Okay, Ibrahim, listen. You know, the UK has got a stronger economy than us, right?
Yes.
By between now and 2050, they are going to increase their population by 9 million.
Yes.
Ghana is 22 million. You know, Singapore is stronger than us, right?
Yes.
Okay, by 2050, they will go up by 1 million. So now look, at if you are a finance minister in these 3 countries, which one can you manage? Can we manage 22 million people? Give them food, sanitation, roads, houses. Already we are 2 million houses down.
Yeah.
So
Nana, let me give you my point. Let me tell you where I'm coming from. I have been in the public service for quite some time and have related with the private sector. I think that as a people we can work more to raise the economy, the level of the economy. We can still work more. What do I mean? When you go to the public service, productivity is almost at 5%.
Yes, because I told you that as soon as your population hit 2%, your quality is gone.
Now, when you come to the private sector, how can a country like Ghana go and import tomatoes from Burkina Faso? There's a lot more we can do to boost our economy. We haven't done that yet. Second, besides, I come from the north. I'm telling you that if you go to the north, the Zongos, you know, where the religion permits them to marry 2, 3, up to 4, and you broach this idea, it will just be like you are joking.
No, so it will be policy driven. Because of timing, let's all snap. It will be policy driven. I'm not saying that don't have 10 children. All I'm saying is that the state will look after 2 of your children. They get school free and they get hospital free and other facilities. These free exercise book free, they'll get it free. The rest you pay, so that the finance minister doesn't continue to tax and go and borrow. Because all this money they borrow is just for free things.
You know, so.
Hello, who am I talking to?
I was speaking with Robert.
Robert, let me hear you.
Nana, you see the guy we asked for. Absolutely right. Nana, what do those who collect our taxes, what do they use them for? Are they using them appropriately?
Of course, free school. I mean, free education, free maternity, free exercise book, free meal. God knows everything is free.
Nana,
free boarding.
Free thing.
How many countries offer free boarding school apart from Ghana that you know? Free boarding.
If they want to take care of everybody for the free education, it's not going to work. Simply because things are not right in Ghana. A country with a population of 22, yes, okay, if you 22 million as the two are projected. Now,
no. We are 29 million now.
How many ambulances do you have? Ambulances who carry 6 people, emergency. How many ministers do we have who are using Land Cruisers, V8, who can able to move into the interland and take people to hospital? This is purely management. It's not about.
Again, let me state, and I want everybody to go and check it out. I said there's no country in this world, apart from 1 or 2 in the Bahrain, the oil, those oil barons, that grows 2% and is anything to write home about. Hello, who am I talking to?
This is Makafi from Tema.
Talk to me, my brother.
Nana, once again, one on him why. We fail to look at the broader picture, because if we manage our population, we're going to manage the number of people out there, and this is going to lead to increase in quality of service. Now, there's one caller called and was saying if you have 3 cases and 1 dies and the second dies or so, if the quality of health service increases, it's going to reduce the number of deaths in the system. So we need to look at the broader picture.
We definitely need to look at the broader picture. Folks, look at something like Nigeria, right? And look at USA. In 2050, Nigeria will be 410 million people. Now they are 196. By 2050, there will be 410 million. You think Nigeria can handle that, even though we're not talking about Nigeria? But look at the Nigeria economy and look at the USA economy. So USA by 2050 will go up by 63 million. Nigeria will go up by 214 million. Folks, that's what I'm talking about. It's not that the people is not necessary, but can they handle it? Hello, who am I talking to?
Hello, Nana. This is Kofi calling from Achimota.
Let me hear you.
Hello, Nana.
Yes,
I don't think we are poor because of population growth. If population increases by 0% and our people are still corrupt, we'll still be poor. We have so many resources to make us rich as a nation. But because of corruption and mismanagement, we are still where we are.
Now,
where we are. The nation is blessed. If every person is to have 4 kids, I think the resources of this nation will be able to support us. Because of corruption and mismanagement, we are where we are.
No, but the funny thing is that as soon as you hit 2%, you are not unable to capitalize your resources, as in human capital. because the people outgrow the schools, they outgrow hospitals, they outgrow all your services. And so now you don't have electricity for everybody, you don't have clean water for everybody, you don't have education for everybody, because we are producing more than we can produce doctors and teachers. That's the fact.
Nana, have we maximized the capacity of our resources?
As soon as you hit 2%, you cannot afford that anymore. Even the likes of the Americans who have the strength, as soon as your population growth hits 2%, you cannot, like I'm saying, that per our statistics, every year, Ken Oforiatta should build 20 schools. How? You look at countries like Singapore, the schools they've had for many, many years, all they do is they go and put air conditioning in it, put carpet in it, put Wi-Fi in it, because they don't need to build more schools. All they have to do is improve the quality of the existing schools. But we don't have that luxury. 0302-216-541. Hello, who am I talking to?
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Yes, boss.
Yeah, this is Lukman Teshinungwa.
Lukman, let me hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think our population growth should be managed. We should be able. I always think about it a long time ago. You know, here in Ghana, if we don't control our population, it will be very, very difficult for us to manage it. Look, this poverty eradication program is not working because those people that they have been given money, they continue to have more children. You realize that those who can afford to feed a lot of children have fewer children. But those who don't have anything, the woman is not working or the father is not working.
That is
none of them is just continue to have more children.
That's our problem. 0302216541. Hello, who am I talking to?
Yeah, hello. Good evening, Anna.
Good evening.
This issue, I also have an issue to talk about.
Let me hear you, quick.
My belief is that Ghana is not overpopulated.
Any country growing 2% is overpopulated.
No. You see,
you cannot manage your population if you grow over 2%. It is scientific.
And said, even if Ghana is growing at the rate of 0%, Ghana will still be the same. The looting of our coffers is too much. Look at the Ameri deal that has just been cancelled. Look at JoyFM.
I'm not saying things will be perfect.
That was carried.
I'm not saying things will be perfect.
Are just too much.
My brother, I'm not saying things will be perfect, but I'm saying in order to bring quality in the system, you need to manage growth.
Exactly. So if these resources are not looted, they will have the money to do the quality we are talking of. Our education.
No matter the resources, you can't manage a 2% and above growth. Hello, you're my last caller.
Hello, good evening, Anna.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm in Kansas from India.
Let me hear you.
Yeah, what I want to say is, for Ghana, if you want to think about development, we should stop the style of politics we do in this country. Because look at the comment made by Ken Oforiatta with regards to the double track system. And look at the reaction that people brought out as a result of the comment, all in the name of politics. So if we don't stop the style of our politicking here in the country, it will be very difficult. Even if we have about 20 million in this country, still we cannot manage the country. So I believe that the style of politics that we have in this country should be changed. Otherwise, we cannot make progress.
Thank you very much for staying with me. And, the breaking news was that the energy minister has just been sacked by the president. And I am saying for your homework, all my, that's my opinion, followers, your homework is you go and research any country in this world that has a population growth over 2%, that makes it. So that you can't argue that, we can manage. We cannot.